Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where Belarus finally snaps. It's been a while since I've done this kind of war scenario, so this should be interesting. The last one I did, I'm pretty sure was Poland. So we're going to see what would happen if Belarus finally snapped. So we see them going to war. Obviously, NATO can't get involved because they don't exist. But, the Belarusians aren't going to declare war. Are going to declare war on Lithuania. No, I'm going to go on Google Earth real quick. So, Belarusian troops will enter into Lithuanian territory, and they get very close to the capital of Vilnius. Like, they're very close. They're right outside the gates. So they'll go around the capital instead. Why? Who knows? But they will go around the capital region. Hoping to cut off the capital from the rest of the country. So they'll go around it. And then these two army groups will go around. And they form an encirclement of the capital city. Belarusian troops begin to encroach the capital. Until they're very, very, very close to the capital. We also see Belarusian troops go in and capture all this land over here. Until they reach the Baltic Sea. And now they have an official coastline. Well, not yet. They still have to occupy this. So that's what we see happen. Something interesting happens, and we actually see. So we see multiple divisions go out around the capital city. They are right outside the gates of the capital city of Vilnius. On the top of this, and they slowly but surely begin to encroach where the president Lithuania is until they get close, and they'll sit down with the president to talk about a peace deal. What is this peace deal? Full annexation. Yes. Goodbye, Vilnius. And hello, Belarus. So you might think, this looks weird. Don't worry, this won't look weird for long. Because they just started to snap. So they just snapped. So what do you expect them to do? Make the best borders possible? No. Belarus is not like that. Every time I do something like this, we always have to make sure that the country has a when they first snap, they first fully annex every nation. They fully annex a nation at first. They do that at first, but when they start to get really big, they decide not to do that anymore. That's what we saw with Ukraine and Poland. Poland just took back what they had. So now with this newly acquired land, they'll go after yet another Baltic nation. This time Lithuania, with their capital being over here in Riga. Riga, where is it? Hey, hey, let me tell you something. Oh wait, there you are. So Belarusian troops will enter into Latvian territory. They'll do what they did with Lithuania. They'll bolster their forces up to go straight towards the capital city. But they don't capture it immediately. And then they do this. They capture the capital of Latvia. And in the peace treaty, Latvia just gets fully annexed. I told you what. I already told you guys. When the country first snaps, they fully annex any nation they can. That's always the case. You gotta remember. If a country snaps, they fully annex nations first. When they first snap, they fully annex every nation they can. I tried to do that with every nation. It might not work out that much. Now, Belarus will go after another nation. And this time it's going to be Estonia. So Belarusian troops will go straight into Estonia. They make a spearhead straight towards their capital city of Tallinn, in which they capture the capital. And the peace treaty is going to be signed immediately by the Estonians. What does this peace treaty look like? Well, you guessed it, it's full annexation again. No surprise there. So Belarus has annexed all of the Baltic countries. So what they're gonna do next? They'll probably They'll probably not declare war on Russia because the size difference. The size difference of Belarus right now and Russia is it's a lot big. It's a lot. And so with that in mind, Belarus is gonna declare war on Poland. Why are they declaring war on Poland? Well, because they want Polish lands. Obviously. Plus, there might be some countries who want more land from Poland. So we see Belarusian troops quickly enter into Polish territory and begin to threaten Warsaw. They're already threatening Warsaw, which I believe is in eastern Poland, which is occupied by the Soviets during World War II and the Russian Empire. And they'll bolster their forces up over to Warsaw. They capture the capital, but Poland does not surrender. As we know in history, Poland never surrenders. They don't surrender. They won't surrender. Just yet. But wait, Czechia and Slovakia are invading into Polish territory as well. Why are they doing this? Who knows why? But the Czechs and Slovaks will begin to capture more and more and more of Poland until they reach the border with Germany. How does Germany react to this? They make their own invasion into Poland. Yeah. Turns out, Belarus was like, hey, Germany, Czechia, Slovakia, we're getting ready to invade Poland. Germany, I know you really like to invade Poland, like, every time when you are doing expanding, so, in history, so why not, help us out with Poland? And the countries actually agreed to help for whatever reason. The Polish forces are overwhelmed by the amount of countries in this war. And the Polish will finally surrender after seeing this happen. We can take a look at a treaty. This will be the Treaty of Copenhagen. So they all meet up here in the capital of Denmark to discuss the peace deal. So Belarus will actually be getting less land. So they'll be getting one province or two, or maybe three more, or another one, or maybe four. Yeah, they get 4 provinces from Poland And then they signed an alliance treaty with the nations they were just invading with. So that will include Germany, who allies with these guys, and they will take most of Poland here. And actually, Czechia and Slovakia reunite into Czechoslovakia. Not with Germany. No. So they reunite into Czechoslovakia once again. Why did they do this? Well, they had historical ties, so they're gonna reunify the country. And Poland is left with two provinces. What are they gonna do with that? Well, Belarus is just gonna annex those. Turns out, Poland just gets split. Again, another partition. Great. Poland's like, not again. So basically, it looks something like this right here. Germany got a big chunk of land. Hold on. Push you, Jackson. Thank you, Jackson. Alright, what am I doing? So I'm pretty sure this was the actual border, and then Germany had all of this. So how many times has been partitioned? Sorry if this is a long video. Well, technically, they have been partitioned for, 4 times. Well, the first 3 were just when they were erased from the map. The first partition was in 1772. So this will be the 5th partition of Poland. Yay. Thank you, ChatGPT. But this partition of Poland will not. It's basically part 2, which. No, Poland is gone. No, we don't care about Poland. Okay, yes we do. I'm just kidding. We love you, Poland. If any of my Polish viewers are out there, I'm sorry about this, but you had your video. You had "What if your country finally snapped?" video. And it's finally Belarus's turn. Like I said, Czechia and Slovakia will reunite, with the capital still being in Prague, of course. So it was a peaceful split, actually. They split peacefully, called the Velvet Divorce. I don't know why they split. I think Czechoslovakia is a great name. Kind of rolls off the tongue a little. Czechoslovakia kind of sounds good. Poland has been erased from history yet again. But don't be afraid, they'll rise again. And probably get partitioned again. But now it's time for the Belarusians to go in on their next target. Sorry, Ukraine, but it's not your lucky day. So Belarusian troops will enter into Ukrainian territory yet again, but this time from Poland, in order not to be pushed back when they get close to Kiev. But it turns out that Czechoslovakia turns out they were also wanting back. Czechoslovakia wanted back Transcarpathia from Ukraine, because that was rightful Czechoslovakian territory. So we saw them sign this alliance with Belarus in order just to get that. They did get bonuses. They did get some bonuses from this. But Belarus and Czechoslovakian forces are way stronger than the Ukrainians have thought, and they get ran through immediately. And now the Belarusians are heading straight for the capital of Kiev, and they capture the capital, and they discuss a peace treaty. Where are they going to sign this treaty? Well, I'm glad you asked. It'll be in the capital city of Serbia. It's close by. So the Treaty of Belgrade will be interesting. Belarus will be annexing 2 provinces from Ukraine. And so will Czechoslovakia. No, that'll look weird. They'll annex 4 provinces from Ukraine. Ukraine's a little mad about this, but hey, what can you do? You just lost the war. But Belarus actually offers Ukraine in their alliance. So that's interesting. Ukraine is gonna accept out of fear that they might get invaded yet again by the Belarusians. So they will join. Hold on. But they will get territory back from Russia. They will get territory from Russia, obviously. They wouldn't just lose all their territory immediately. So Ukraine actually gets a fair treaty. So this is the 4 provinces right here. And this is what the Belarusians annexed. So Belarus is looking quite nice. So it's been a while since we've done this kind of scenario, but we are finally back. Oh wait, I repeated that. I already said that, but again, we did do this. So I'm actually gonna take a break I'm taking a break from my Civilization series. But don't worry, I'm not gonna leave it forever. But I'm actually gonna take so look at some old series from the past, just like What If the Country Finally Snapped. So we're getting back at this for first off with Belarus. And now for the elephant in the room, aka the Russians. So we see the Belarusians actually signing a treaty alliance. They bring Finland into the alliance. Also, they will bring Japan in their alliance as well. Something to note, they're all the way over. Belarus is right here. Japan is right here. How did they send this? Well, turns out they sent a navy, their country's leader on a boat. They passed through Denmark, which Denmark allowed them to, because they snapped, so they're not going to get in their way. We see them go through the English Channel, so the British and the French just allow this. And they go through the Strait of Gibraltar, which the United Kingdom will allow. Their voyage will continue. They'll stop right here on this island for fuel, which Spain will allow them. And then they continue along their journey, going through this area of Italy, passing through Italy and Tunisia. I don't know why they didn't take a shortcut. Like, they could have just sent their leader on the road to Kiev, and then they could have let them pass through a boat and go this way, but I don't know why they didn't do that. But yeah, they just do this. So the Belarusian leader is still on his voyage through here. They get close to Egypt. And they will go to the Egyptians asking if they can go through. And they'll pay them $1 million to let them go through so they can send a message to Japan. And the Egyptians will agree, so they go through the Suez Canal, through the Red Sea, straight through the Red Sea, past this area. They enter into the Gulf of Aden. They'll go around India, stop over here. They actually make a pit stop, refueling. India will give them some fuel. And they will go out from here, passing through this little crook through here. They go through here. They'll go through the Strait of Malacca. They go around here. They do stop on this island, hop over, drive through Manila, stop right here, and then they will continue on their voyage. They stop in Taiwan, set out from their capital city. They make their way to Tokyo, where their new leader is at. They stop here and they drive straight to the capital. And they give this letter to Japan. Japan's leader reads it and they're like, huh, you want us to invade Russia with you? Alright. So they agree to this simple term. I'm actually going to zoom out because I can barely see. So that was a little interesting. But, so we see Belarus, Ukraine, Germany, Czechoslovakia, Finland, and now the Japanese all sent the declaration of war straight to the capital of Russia. So first, Belarus sends their declaration of war, then it's Ukraine, and then it's Czechoslovakia, then Germany, and then Finland, and then Japan. So obviously, Ukrainian troops will enter into Crimea and tear into Crimea, getting rid of any Russians occupying this area. Kaliningrad is surrounded by Belarus, so the Belarusians will take Kaliningrad from Russia. We see Ukraine make a naval landing over here. And there's some independence movement sparking up inside of Russia. A giant independence movement makes its face right here. This area is wanting to break away from the Russian Federation. So they will call up everyone in this area to rise up against the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Yes, he's still alive in this scenario. And these people will rise up. And they declare independence from the Russian Federation. Obviously, Putin is not going to like this. He wants to keep this region because of the resources this area has to offer. But obviously, these people don't like that. They don't want their resources taken from them. So they rise up and revolt. Ukraine will also make an invasion into this area. Quickly taking over this land area. Belarus will make their invasion quickly to take over this area right here. They form a spearhead to the capital of Russia. Finland is just gonna focus on this area. And, they will just take over all of this land, and the wait. Japan is gonna occupy all of Sakhalin. I'm not gonna call that in. They occupy this, and then the Russian leader is on his way out of his office. He's on his way to go on the offensive until someone shoots him in the back of his head. Who shot him? Well, they're the pro-Free Russian movement. They assassinate Vladimir Putin in front of the public. And Russia will collapse. And we can look at a peace treaty for this war. The peace treaty will be held in the capital of the United States. So Belarus will be annexing Kaliningrad. That was a part of, that was in the treaty. They'll be annexing Pskov and Bryansk. For Ukraine, Ukraine will get back Crimea, but they also take Ad Adge Kran Krasnodar, Karachay-Cherkez, Rostov, Belgorod, Voronezh. They also capture Kursk and Oral, Lipetsk, and that's all they capture. That's all that Ukraine captures. For Finland, yes, they signed an alliance treaty. Oh God. Hey, Finland, get called in. Well, they will annex Murmansk, Karelia, Leningrad, and St. Petersburg from Russia. But they also take Novgorod, Volgograd, and whatever this says. Japan be annexing. Yes, Japan is in this war, was in the war. So you can go ahead and color them in over here. Obviously, they'll annex Sakhalin, and they'll annex Primor, yeah, and Yerve and Karboskov, and Amur, Magadan, Chukchi Autonomous Okrug, and Kamchatka. And as for the independence movements, first we see the one that was in the Caucasus region. Dagestan will declare independence from Russia. Chechnya will declare independence from Russia. So that's already two Russian countries, new countries. Then we see something interesting. We see North Ossetia, Ingush, Kabardin-Balkar, Stavropol, and Kyumyk, and Astrakhan, all declaring independence from Russia. There's also more, don't worry, I'm not done. I'm not done. There is a lot to this peace treaty. We see Volgograd declare independence from the Russian state. We see a stand nation breaking away from the Russian area. Actually leaving Russia very weak with only their capital city remaining. And basically there's just multiple regions of Russia breaking away at once. So basically, this northern area. Right here. Yeah, this peace treaty is a lot. This is going to be a big treaty. So we see the Siberia, basically, break away. We see Tuva, the Tanatuvan country, break away from Russia. So that's interesting. And one more country will make its face. We see this Russian region around Lake Baikal declare independence. That leaves Russia weak. That leaves Russia very weak. So we can go ahead and get rid of this area right here. So Ukraine will be getting everything right here. So Russia's just in their capital region area right now. Belarus will, they'll take this right here. And, these areas over here. Finland will be annexing a majority of Russian land. Right here. So Japan will annex this area. It's not proper. So Tuva will declare independence from Russia right here. This Sakha Republic nation will declare independence from Russia as well. The country that's around Lake Baikal will declare independence. We'll get their independence. realize this is not supposed to be there. A pretty notable sized country will make an appearance right over here. So yeah, a country collapsed. So yeah, this was an interesting peace deal. So, yeah. Interesting. Russia's still alive. They're just landlocked now. No need for border disputes anymore because Russia's gone. You don't need border disputes. So this was a weird scenario. Not the weirdest. Like NATO uniting. Because that one was pretty weird. This is almost an hour long, I'm sorry. Takes a while to do this part. Anyways, Finland is nuclear now, has a nuclear power now. But Russia still has access to launch codes. Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't think Russia has access anymore. Also, if one of you were wondering, Finland does own this island. Because it's a part of the province they annexed. Don't know why. As for capital city-wise, I'm just going to plop some capitals around the map. For the new country. So, Yeet, 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 Yeet. There's all the new countries, capital cities. I'm just gonna download this map before. And I hope you guys enjoyed What If Belarus finally snapped. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.